Sons RC coming back at you with another bench video. Now today, we're talking about droop screws, droop screw locations, and the compatibility of RPM arms and the V5 Arrma chains with the suspension geometry in the rear and the issues that's causing. Some of you guys out there are using RPM arms on V5 rigs and the M2C rigs, and you're having issues setting the droop. The screw location's not matching up, and obviously that's causing an issue. I'm going to talk about that today. I have a workaround for you that'll work really good. Two things that are going to be useful. Number one, you got to get these M2C Racing droop screws, part number 9130. The reason why these are important because they have a large mushroom head, and then they screw up through the bottom and has an Allen key in the top that you use that to screw up and down. Now droop, what droop is basically the ability of the suspension to swing down and to absorb shock, right? So the further you go down, the more droop, less droop is going up. The droop screws allow the A-arms to swing up and down, and it adjusts it so you have less droop or more droop depending upon how you want your rig to run or how to protect your vehicle, your chassis, and your shock rod ends, right? And these little ears right here are what catch the droop screw mushroom head and actually protect your chassis and help you adjust it. Ever since RPM released their arms, they are the hottest thing out there. They're super durable. We love RPM arms, especially on our 6S trucks, right? The thing that I need to address real quick, guys, is that the RPM droop screw location is actually not the same as the Arrma droop screw location on the arms. That issue has been compounded with the V5 generation of chassis and suspension geometry, where these ears are slightly different now on the chassis, whether that's an M2C chassis or stock chassis. They are different now, and so therefore, because the droop screw location on the arms didn't match up to start with, now it's even more off when you go to the V5. So some of y'all out there are having issues where you're using RPM arms on V5 Outcasts, V5 Creightons, and the droop screws are not matching up. And I'm going to help resolve that issue. I'm going to do some troubleshooting here. I'm going to show you what the issue is. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you real closely, and then I'm going to show you how you can fix and use RPM arms on a V5 Creighton, V5 Outcast, or Mojave, whatever you're having issues with. This technique will work on that. So, hey, if you like installs, if you like tips and tricks, you like some extreme bashing that we do over at 3 Sons RC, come on by, check out our channel, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. So let's get into this here. So what I got right here is two RPM arms. One of them's drilled out the new way, and one of them's with the stock droop screws. Now, I'm using these M2C droop screws, part number 9130, and these are great because they have a huge mushroom head on the end. Now, you can use these with the RPM and still catch that corner right there in the stock location without re-drilling, but it only catches the outside corner. I'm going to show you how to re-drill it so you have a little bit more contact and you're going to feel a little bit more confident because the droop screw head on the bottom is going to contact the chassis ear better. Now keep in mind, guys, this M2C chassis has got the exact same geometry in the rear end as a V5 rig, so no difference there. The difference is that, like I said, RPM's droop screw location never matched up to Arrma's. And so when they changed the suspension geometry in the rear end of the truck, these droop ears right here for the chassis, they changed. And basically, it's impossible to make the locations match up for stock arms and M2C arms to keep everybody happy. So M2C is going to side with matching up with stock locations, which makes sense. Obviously, M2C can't be running after making sure the compatibility is there for every single aftermarket part. So it's matching up perfect for V5 arms and the arm location droop screws on there, but it doesn't match up perfectly with RPM. We all love RPM. We love their arms. Again, waffling. This is playing a little bit faster than normal because I'm talking too much. Let's get into this. Let me show you really closely what's going on here. Now, if you look really closely, guys, you can see the M2C droop screw mushroom head on the bottom. That's in the stock location up there. But you can see it does catch the outside of that ear, but not ideal. It does work. Obviously, if you're using the Arrma stock droop screws, they're not going to catch anything, and you're going to have too much droop, and you'll be busting shock rod ends. But you can see on the right side of the truck, where I've re-drilled, you can see a lot more contact. It's a little tricky, but way more contact on that droop screw ear. Now, I do have these arms off the truck, so this is for demonstration purposes, but I was very, very careful to make sure that these arms are lined up exactly like and the same distance from the center of this bulkhead area out to where the droop screws are. So basically, what is necessary to make these line up properly is there needs to be another hole drilled in this RPM arms 4 millimeters in and about 1 millimeter towards the back of the truck. Now, that's a tricky endeavor. We're going to show you how to do that now. What we're going to use to do that is we're going to use a 3/32 drill bit to tap just a pre-drill so we can be accurate, and then a 1/8 inch drill bit, and then you're going to be able to take Mitch Loopers and M2C Racing's droop screws and screw them right up through that 1/8 inch hole that you've made. Now you can see, guys, there's really not much margin for error, but there is meat to play with for sure. If you're really careful, you can do this without messing with the original droop screw hole and the outer part of the ear. But you do need to be careful. Again, 4 millimeters in towards the inside of the truck and about 1 millimeter towards the rear of the truck. So guys, this is only an issue in the rear part of the truck. The front part of the truck, if you use M2C Racing mushroom head Droop screws, you'll be fine, but you have to re-drill the back ones to make them accurate, or you could just use the M2C Racing ones and just catch the outside, but we're gonna drill it here today to help you out. And just a quick visual reference here, guys. I got a set of V5 arms laid out pretty perpendicular to these arms, to the RPM arms, and you can see, just looking at it, and if you measure from this corner right here to the middle of this droop screw hole, it's 1 millimeter longer than it is on the stock arms. And just like I said, guys, if you want to match this up, it needs to be 4 millimeters more into the center of the truck and 1 millimeter down to drill that hole. But let's get to that real quick, guys. So you want to aim for right here. It's good to have it in a vise. I just press it in a little bit, make sure it's nice and straight. That's about perfect. Bam. And now that you got this set up, guys, just gonna put the droop screw in the bottom and just start turning counterclockwise to pull the droop screw up to the bottom of the arm. And it'll self-tap. And there you go, guys. Not perfect, but that'll hold in there real tight. Quick comparison here of the new stock V5 droop screws that Arrma is including in their trucks and the M2C droop screws. You can see that the thickness of the mushroom head is about 1.5 millimeters thicker on the Arrma one as opposed to the M2C one. And what that does is with the M2C one, you actually can add more droop, and that's essential to be able to get enough droop, whereas if you're to use these, it's going to be a little bit more difficult with the RPM arms to get the amount of droop that you actually want to get the full suspension out of your truck. And the top of the Arrma droop screw actually has a hex in it, which could potentially damage your truck slightly, whereas the M2C one's just completely flat. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hey guys, it's just droop screws, it's not rocket science, right? But hopefully this guys is beneficial to y'all. Like, comment, subscribe over 3 Sons RC. Check out M2C's droop screws. I think they're the best out there. Just a big flat mushroom head on the top, real easy to use and install, and able to adjust from the top of the truck a lot easier, whereas the stock ones actually just are flat on the top and you can't adjust them while they're on the truck as easy. You sometimes have to get underneath and compress the arms. It's just more difficult. These are a lot easier to use. You'll like them. They'll cause less damage to your truck. M2C just putting out awesome stuff. Hey, hope you guys appreciate this. Like, comment, subscribe over 3 Sons RC. Appreciate your RC community. Peace out.